Before we get into this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button to help me get to 1,000 subscribers this year. In this video, I will show you how to save money on vacation. First, we went to an Albertsons nearby. There we saw a bunch of Easter stuff for 50% off. I got this milk for free after rebate. We got Yoplait yogurt for 49 cents each for buying 4 or more. Also check out this. There are many that you can mix and match for $10. There's a limit of 20. This includes Campbell soup, these rice, even tuna, ravioli, and apple juice, and some other drinks here. Next, we drove by Ostrich Land where we saw a bunch of ostriches for free. Once at the front of the Ostrich Land, we took a bunch of pictures. In case you're wondering, this is how much it costs to see the ostrich up front and to feed them. When I went inside the store, I saw an egg signed by Khloe Kardashian. As a cheap souvenir, I got this penny pressed Ostrich Land penny for 51 cents. Here you see I'm turning the handle until the penny falls into the cup. This is what the penny looks like. The first free admission museum we went was Hans Christian Andersen Museum. It's a tiny upstairs museum that features the books and exhibits about the author. The tour already began when we arrived, so we basically just looked around and kind of listened to what the lady from the museum was saying. I overheard he's peculiar and that he's afraid of the second floor. One of Hans' most famous fairy tales include The Little Mermaid.
But this is what his dad did for a living. So you can see that they were not affluent. His mom was doing laundry and his dad was making shoes.
Next, we checked out the gifts and souvenir shop nearby. There's keychains here, and then magnets, cow, and these magnets, and then postcards here. This place offers free samples for the beef jerky. We're taking a look at the variety that's offered. Fortunately, there's no plant-based samples, but the lady said there were some plant-based in the back of the store. Wanted to check those out here. Since the Old Mission Santa Inez was nearby, we went ahead and checked that out. After the chapel, we continued the tour entrance pathway towards the gift shop. Here we see the grape exhibit. The Crayola vines planted here are direct descendants of the first grapes planted in California by Franciscan friars in 1769. Here's the rose garden that was planted in 1995. This area was once part of the Mission Quadrangle. This is the original 19th arch, as you can see here. Next, we went to the California Nature Art Museum where we saw birds, bees, and more. This museum uses art to connect visitors to nature and also to shed light to environmental issues such as what impacts pollinators and how we could help the pollinators. We not only saw honeybees but bats, butterfly, hummingbird. This transformation from caterpillar, cocoon to butterfly. Here are some bees and some more bees. Next, we checked out this new site-specific installation called Message in a Bottle. It aims to raise awareness about the critical problem about plastic pollution. Here's some images of California and its changing climate and landscape.
Started off with warm yellows, colors were multiple layers.
Next, we went to Everhøj's Museum of History and Art.
By Viggo Harris. He was born and raised in Denmark, and he was a trained and very talented artist. He trained throughout Europe. In fact, he trained with Picasso and came to the United States and met Martha, who was also a very accomplished portrait artist in Boston. And they eventually got married and came across the country looking for a place to live, and they found Solvang, where people were speaking Danish. And so he felt right at home. So he wanted to build a home like the one he grew up in Denmark, which was an 18th century Danish farmhouse. And that's what this is. It's very authentically built. He wanted to be so authentic that he didn't use any power tools or nails in building it. Mortise and tenon and Lincoln log type style. Nails, no. And because they were both artists, everything within the home that's art is their art. Like the horse out front, he created that in honor of a real Icelandic pony they had back east and couldn't bring with them. He also carved the front door. Martha created the scene. They loved the Danish folk play Elverhøj, which means Elf's Hill. And so Martha created the scene and he carved the front door with an elfin forest animals. He also designed all the ironwork throughout the house, like the hinges here on the door and all. So we have the house set up to talk about the immigration of Danes to the United States in the early 1900s, as well as the founding formation of Solvang. So you can wander and read, it's very well signed. Cottage out back that has a diorama of what Solvang looked like in the 1920s. So you can wander and read. We have a guest book we'd love for you to sign.
Here's a display of Viking life. Here's the Viking chainmail. It's the ultimate armor for any Viking warrior during the Viking Age. Solvang built and opened a Danish folk school in 1911. The schools emphasized broader enlightenment through promotion of independent intellectual thought. Solvang began as a dream of 3 immigrants from the Midwest. This exhibit depicts small rural homes of Denmark in the 1800s. In the 19th century, Denmark was primarily a farming country, and more than 80% of the population lived in rural areas. Later, when crossing the Atlantic became cheaper and most young Danes were looking for opportunities in America, most immigrants went to the major cities. Here's the rooftop view of Solvang. The The Wolf Windmill is the only working windmill in Solvang. Now we're heading back home in Southern California. The trip cost us about $50 round trip, but it was worth it because we got to do a lot of sightseeing, go to 3 museums, see ostriches, and we also saved money along the way by buying groceries at Albertsons. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.